All right. I think we are live. Let's share our screens and get into it. All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Module 13, Realistic Grading. I thank you all for joining me this week. So let's get into it. So, what is realistic grading? So, some of the questions that you're going to explore this week include what assessments are feasible within your context? How do I most efficiently and effectively assess students? And how do other teachers in my content area achieve the same of both efficient, effective, and also realistic grading? So, we have at this point a lot of ideas about authentic standards based assessment, right? But regardless of how great the assessment is, it's not worth much to you or to your students at that matter if you don't have the time to properly evaluate it. As a secondary teacher, this becomes even more of an issue for you. You're very familiar. Secondary teachers have well over what types of assessments might be meaningful to your students, but useful too and doable for you. So this week, we're going to take a look at the different ways to both feasibly and effectively assess our students' understanding of our content areas. So what you see up here on the slide are two examples of assessment that I've personally used in the past that I still like to use today. They're quick, feasible, effective. Um, so first, we have the exit tickets on your left-hand side. Those are pretty familiar to most of you, I'm sure. A lot of you have mentioned them yourselves over the semester, actually, and have been very effective to you in assessing student learning. So you'll see in figures both 1 and 2 on the left-hand side, there's two examples of exit tickets and how you might use them in your classroom. Personally, I also like to take advantage of technology and its many affordances. So in a class that I would teach, I would use Nearpod or Clickers or Kahoot or something like that to be able to assess my students. This is not exclusive to younger kids either. In doctoral courses, this is something that can help keep the pace of the class pretty well as well. So moving on. So the image that you see here are the content areas broken down into a table and color coded. So there are two to three links for each content area. The first few links are the professional organization's practitioner journals. And when you click on them, you're going to be taken to the actual journal itself. You'll notice, for example, in English language arts, we see that the first link is to the journal that's geared for high school. The second link is the journal that's geared from middle school to high school. And the third is actually for the professional organization itself. Likewise, for each of the other content areas, you'll be able to explore resources in the same way. So what you want to do is click on those links, search their publications for articles on assessment. You're going to take a look at them. You're going to take a look through them and find out if there are assessments that you think are smart, that you can use and are doable, and that you didn't know about beforehand. So that's what you'll be doing when you explore these websites this week. Just look through the module webpage on Canvas to get started on that. So there's something to point out though, and that is okay. So two things: you'll want to be logged into our VPN to get access from the UF library. You may also log in through UF's proxy server, but you have to be logged in securely through UF in order to make this happen. I forget to do this sometimes as well, and I'm confused as to why the page is not loading. That's why you have to be logged in first securely through UF in order to make this happen. In the module, there's a link to how to learn about doing these things if we don't already know how to. The second thing is what I just brought up here, and that is an example of one of the mathematics journals. So take a look at the maroon rectangle there. You'll notice that there are time periods when you can get full access to the articles, meaning up top, it says full text coverage happens between May of 1998 and October of 2003. If you want something more recent, then you may only have to access the citation or the abstract itself. This is why I included the professional organizations as a third link, because sometimes you're going to have to go directly to the professional organization site in order to get the most current article. It's really important to make sure to stay up to date on your resources. Um, What you'll do with this information, as well as the other resources that we have on Canvas, is that you're going to create a list of at least 3 efficient and effective assessments. Use the what do you call it? Edutopia article. Use the classroom video, the practitioner journals themselves. Read about different assessment strategies and select the ones you think are really going to be useful in your classroom and aligned with what you know to be effective assessment. So now in terms of your on-track checklist and the things that are coming up, first and foremost, you want to know is that once you have identified your 3 different assessments, you're going to post the information about them by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. in our discussion forum, like you have been doing all semester. The next thing I want you to see is that we have Thanksgiving next week. So there's not going to be any readings or activities for that week. However, uh, capital H, however, it's a great time to start thinking about the assessment plan and reflection paper, which I have been, I'm sure, annoying many of you by the amount of times I brought it up to get a jump start on, which is your last big assignment of the course. Again, to reiterate, it's a 2-part assignment that requires you to design an assessment plan that includes both formative and summative assessments that are relevant to and appropriate for your content area. You're also going to do the second part, reflect on the utility and shortcomings of the assessments for your content area and for your learners. You're going to submit, all those assessments and the reflection paper. Now, what you're looking at this week's resources, when you're looking at them, in effective grading for assessment techniques, you might want to look for things, assessments that you could use for this paper. Let's see, for example, on the top of my head, one of the 3 assessments for the assessment plan or reflection paper must be standards grace fading. And it's a standards-based grading excuse, right? Standards grace fading approach. And you have to include self or peer assessment, right? Which is really an effective way of quickly grading someone. And one must be considered authentic for your content area and discipline. So here's some things you'll be thinking about as you're getting ready to close out the semester. It's only a few weeks away. I want to wish you the best this week and over the Thanksgiving holiday. As always, if you need me or Ms. Hada, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you very much and have a great week.